In this part, we're going to learn about events administration and logs monitoring. Firstly, we're going to see the event viewer. The event viewer allows access to a report aimed at or a portal technician specialist to identify incidents. All these activities carried out in the system are reflected in the viewer. Those considered incidents are highlighted with an icon and a message to assist in their resolution. The event viewer registers all the motor and portal activities. And it is very useful when there are some issues and we want to consult with the support department. We can previously consult the event viewer to see what the issue is, or just check the viewer info to transfer it to the support department. We will find the activity report in a structure event viewer. And we will see all the different options in the installation in a minute. We can filter here by the tab of the message, for example, information, warning, error, call stack. Here we can also see that it is possible to choose in configuration the level of detail. So we have basic, medium, high, and complete of that activity that we are going to store. Depending on the level we choose, we will obtain a more detailed report or a basic one. It is important to note that some settings of the events viewer may affect the performance of the installation. When selecting any detail level different from the basic, the system activates a warning that will appear with each new access to the application, in order to remind the delegated administrators that this situation affects the performance of the system. The example below shows when selecting high, okay? And because it's high, any other level that we select that is different from basic, we will get this message as soon as we log in the platform. So we will always get this level of detail of the event viewer. Okay, so it will say it's high, the impact on the performance of user forms can be significant. Let's go now to the application to see all these options. For that, we will go to Structure and Administration and Event Viewer. Here we can see that we have the option Scope. So here we can choose motor or portal, or just leave it blank. We can always leave it blank if we want it both. Here in the level of detail, for example, we can have, as we said before, basic, medium, high, and complete. And we have to keep in mind that if we choose any other than basic, we will get the message as soon as we log in. If we select basic in configuration, I'm going to obtain a basic level of detail. Okay? Another thing here to keep in mind is like if I have basic in the configuration, but here I choose high, it's never going to work. Okay? Because in configuration, I just have basic. If it's the other way around, that in configuration I have complete, but here I choose basic, then it will work without any problems. And here we also have more filters as well. If there are any problems or errors or warning, we will get some symbols here, okay? Like an icon thing. If it's blue, it will be a warning. If it's yellow, it means it's an error, and clicking on them, we will get more information, okay? If we go back to configuration and change the level of detail, so for example, I don't know, let's put high and save. Okay, and then log back in. We will get the warning message we mentioned before, okay? So from here, we can modify it or accept it. In this case, we're going to modify it and put it back to where it was, to basic. Let's go back now to the presentation. This slide is going to tell us about session logs and concurrencies. From a structure, administration, user sessions, we can see all the different options. Users in session, that obviously shows the users in session. Session logs, the system gets the record of all the sessions carried out in use or closed in the application, showing the date, the result of the login attempt, nature of the user, username and login used, the account, where applicable, etc. Concurrence error log. records cases where licenses are not available after each login attempt. This only makes sense when we have concurrent licenses. Remember that the concurrent licenses are licenses that allow to have as many users logged in as a session as concurrent licenses we have. It's when we have a limit, basically. And users activity control, we can limit the idle session time. So if someone logs in but is inactive for a certain time, the system will log off the user automatically. So any other user can log in. This is important if we have limited concurrent licenses. We also have the possibility of indicating if we want to allow that a user can have multiple sessions opened at the same time or not. Remember that this option here is useful to know if we need to get more licenses and to help us control the user's activity in a better way. Let's go to the application now to see all this. So again, we're in structure, administration, and we go to user sessions. On one hand, we have users in session. Okay. And we can select here if we want to see all the employees, the external, or all. If we want to see the users that are connected or not, etc. We are going to leave it as it is. And here we will always know the last that opened the session as well. We will have the information here. Now, session log. Okay. We can see here every time somebody tries to open a session. We can see the date as well. In action, we can see if the login was successful, if session timeout, if license not available, all these options. Also, if there was an error with the authentication. Concurrent errors log. Here we don't have anything because we don't have any limit. And users activity control. So limit the time of inactive sessions. Okay, this allows me to limit the time a session can be inactive. Okay, I can also choose if I want multiple sessions to be opened by the same user or not, if I want to allow it or not. Concurrent license control. Here we can choose the minutes we want to. Okay, the concurrent licenses that have had no activity during the indicated time will become available. Okay, minimum 10 minutes. So if it has been inactive and we have concurrent license, we actually need for people not to be inactive, because if we have only 5 licenses, we don't want 2 users to be inactive and another user not being able to log in. Here we can also choose the employee that will receive the notifications when users cannot start sessions due to complications with the concurrent license. Let's go back to the presentation now to see an option that has to do with the viewer and performance. Performance analytics, user activity, from structure, administration, performance, and user activity. This is one of the options we saw before when we were talking about the performance. To control the user's activity, it's necessary to activate the option from the event viewer, configure button. We can see this option here in Activate Request Log that we didn't explain before. It says, if activated, will be recorded in an SQL table called AP Request Log. This information allows specialists or technicians to pinpoint different issues, particularly those related to the performance of dynamic forms. This tool allows us, among other things, to see the interaction of the employees and external users with the application graphically on different dates. Okay, it's quite easy to see everything and all the information during the whole day, etc. We can also access to this option from the employees report, the external contact record, or from the session login. Let's go back to the application now and see this very quickly. So now we just need to go to performance, structure, performance, as we said before, and users activity. Okay, we can filter here employee external, and in here we can choose the employee. We can see we have 2. So if we click on admin portal, we can see here all the details, the times, okay, and the number of accesses, and etc. So if we were to change to AP1, we will have a different data. We can also choose a particular date, a specific date. And this will be all for this part.